Good morning. Welcome to the Takeover. I'm your host, Khisha brij'on, alongside with the King of LA Sports, Richard Lopez. And if you are in the need of your daily sports fix, then you have come to the right place. How are you doing today, Rich?
Splendid.
Splendidly wonderful.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I cannot complain. Thank you for asking.
Oh, well, you look well again, like always.
Well, thank you. As do you.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Today we are talking NBA Finals, which is going on tonight. We have the Spurs going up against the Miami Heat, Game 1, best 4 out of 7. Let's talk some matchups.
What would you say? Well, there's a lot of key matchups. We might as well start with the biggest one, I think, which is LeBron James versus Kawhi Leonard. Leonard is touted by a lot of his fellow players as probably one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. During the regular season, he held opposing small forwards and power forwards to 14.3 points per game. LeBron averaged 31 points per game in the regular season and 28 in the playoffs. So I look for him to kind of slow LeBron down a little bit. They say, I forget the actual length, but his wingspan is that of a center, Kawhi Leonard, and that gives gives opposing offensive players a lot of problems. So I believe he's gonna give LeBron problems. Look for LeBron to average anywhere between 20 to 25 points this series.
A series? Okay. Well, I also, I believe Leonard is a good one-on-one defender, but I think he might have a hard time defending with James. And that's just because, the power and the quickness that James has, so off the dribble. So that is a good matchup to look at. We'll see. It should be interesting. I don't know if he will be able to shut James down to 20 points, but we'll see.
Yeah, let's just make it clear. No one is going to be able to shut down LeBron James. Let me make that clear. But, I mean, any normal player, 20 to 25 points a game is good for normal players, but we just expect so much out of LeBron James that 20 to 25 points for him would be not good at all. So look for, if the Heat have any chance of winning this series, other members of the Big Three have to get involved. Well,
Dwayne Wade, he stepped it up in Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers, so maybe his hot hand is coming back, but he's going to be defended by Danny Green, I believe. So that should be another matchup that you need to look out for. I don't know. I don't know if that knee is still giving him problems. He said it's not, but he hasn't been doing too well throughout the duration of the playoffs. Like I said, he got hot Game 7, but other than that, nothing.
They're going to need his defense because Wade is going to take the responsibility of Ginobili. Because Ginobili, he has a chance. Like, anytime during the regular season when the Spurs needed that hot hand, they went to him. Tony Parker was always hot, but they went to Ginobili in crunch time because everyone was guarding Parker. But I believe Ginobili is going to have a good series because Wade is supposedly he's hurt. There's no confirmation on exactly what's wrong with him, but he doesn't look the same, and he can't come out for one game like he did last series and expect to beat the Spurs.
No, not.
There's no way.
Not the Spurs.
Not going to happen.
No. Who else do we have? We have the Tony Parker and Mario Chalmers are going head to head. Now, with that, I think that the Spurs should use Tony Parker to exploit Chalmers off the dribble. So I think that he would not be able to match up well. I think he would pretty much run over Chalmers and have an outstanding series against him. We'll see what they'll do with that.
If the Heat's game plan is to have Mario Chalmers on Tony Parker, it's not going to look too good for them. But what I've been hearing throughout my sources is that LeBron James is going to take the task of Tony Parker at certain times. So that his size will give Tony Parker problems, but all it's going to take is one screen for Tony Parker to break loose because he's way quicker than LeBron.
He is way quicker, but that is a good counter. Putting James or even Wade on Parker would be a good counter because, like you said, their size, their athletic ability. So that would be a good matchup to look forward to. The thing with this is, when they played in the regular season, they sat out their prime players, so you really don't know what their matchups are going to be. You can only speculate. You can't gauge what's going to happen because you don't have anything to go on. So, I mean, it's like, wow, what's going to happen? We have to wait and see. So, it should be a good look. But I think the Spurs have an advantage in the inside. I know that the Heat have Birdman, but and Haslam, but I think Duncan and Splitter, I think they are a better force. I mean, they got some experience playing against the big men with Indiana. However, the Spurs have better shooters than Indiana. So, and they're a better team fundamentally than Indiana. So, even though they have that experience playing against the big men, I think the Spurs big men on the inside and the post have an advantage over the Heat.
Yeah, the last time the two big threes played together, it was in 2011, and they played twice, and they were 1-1. That's the last time both of the, Spurs big three and the Heat's big three played against each other. And I think this series is going to be a big test for Erik Spoelstra, because he's going up against Greg Popovich, who I consider to be one of the greatest coaches of all time. And a lot of people aren't sure how good of a coach Spoelstra is. So this is his chance to prove, hey, I belong, or either I don't belong. So I believe this is going to be Spoelstra's either his coming out party, as people can say he's a great coach,
or his death.
Or his death, yeah.
Yeah.
Being labeled as the coach that only got it done because of all that talent. And he's going to be out. He's going to have to truly coach this series. He's not going to be able to win it with high-flying explosiveness, because the Spurs are that team. I remember as a Laker fan, it's so frustrating to watch the Spurs because they're so good at defense. They get in front of you for offensive fouls. They're a well-coached team.
The thing about the Spurs is they're not flashy. They have their wow moments, but for the most part, they get it done with the basics. They get it done with the fundamentals, and that will kill you every time. And Pop is one of the best coaches in the league. If not the best coach, that's the coaching today.
Yeah, I believe he is the one out of the coaches now.
Right, and they forget that, because they always want to say Phil Jackson, Doc Rivers, but the man is brilliant when it comes to basketball. And
yes, he is.
Keep in mind, how long have the Spurs been together? This is still their core team that they won their first NBA championship with Duncan and Tony Parker. So they still have that core together. So it's going to be very hard to beat them. I say Spurs in 7, 6 if they still won from Miami.
Yeah, the Spurs have been to the finals 4 times since 1999, and they're 4-0 1999. So the Heat definitely have their work cut out for them. Okay, well, let me ask you, what's your prediction? What's your prediction on this series?
I say Spurs. I say Spurs once again. Spurs in 7 if they don't snatch one in Miami. If they can take either tonight's game away or the next game that they play, then they have it in 6. Otherwise, Spurs in 7. What about you?
I say the Spurs in 6, because if it becomes the LeBron show, the same thing's going to happen as when the Cleveland Cavaliers played the Spurs back in the day. They're going to get that
make
work.
Make somebody else beat me. You can have all the points you want. Make somebody else beat us.
Yeah, it's not going to be LeBron. The LeBron show is not going to beat the Spurs. He needs Wade and Bosh to have a big series, not just average, big series. Big three need to have a big series if they're going to beat the Spurs. The Spurs are a dynasty. They have to have 3 championships to be considered a dynasty. The Heat they're working on their second. They're working on their second.
The third. I'm sorry, the third. They won one with D Wade and OC.
Yeah, D Wade, but LeBron. It's about LeBron in Miami these days. So.
Well, it will be an interesting matchup. We cannot wait until tonight to see what's going on.
Give
Give everybody your info so we know how to get in contact with you. We know how to look you up if we want to see you.
All right. I know where my camera needs to be. All right. So you can find me on Instagram, the King of LA Sports. You can find me on Twitter, Rich Lopez, KOLASC. You can find me on YouTube on the King of LA Sports, and you can now find me on Facebook with my very own like page. So go support the King of LA Sports on Facebook. Miss brij'on?
You can find me on YouTube at Khisha brij'on, and we thank you for tuning in to the Takeover. Until next time, may the sports be with you.
And don't be afraid to roll the dice.